Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of our podcast, where we dive deep into the minds of the world's greatest investors, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Today, we're talking about one of the most dynamic and outspoken figures in the business world, Mark Cuban. You may know him as the billionaire owner of the Dallas Mavericks, a star investor on Shark Tank, or a self-made tech mogul. But beyond his wealth and success, Mark Cuban is known for one core belief: the best investment you can ever make is in yourself. It's a simple statement, but it carries profound meaning. It's not about buying stocks, real estate, or cryptocurrencies. It's about improving your skills, knowledge, and habits, things that no market crash, recession, or downturn can take away from you. But to truly understand why Mark Cuban believes this, we need to take a journey back in time to when he was just another kid in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, hustling to make a few bucks. Mark Cuban wasn't born into wealth. His father was an automobile upholsterer, and his mother switched careers often, always looking for something new. From a young age, Mark learned that if he wanted something, he had to work for it. His first taste of entrepreneurship came when he was just 12 years old. He wanted a pair of expensive basketball shoes, but his father wouldn't buy them for him. Instead of complaining, Mark found a way to make money. He started selling garbage bags door to door. It wasn't glamorous, but it taught him a valuable lesson. If you want something, go out and earn it. That mindset stuck with him through high school and college. While studying at Indiana University, Mark took on any odd job he could find: bartending, teaching dance lessons, even running a chain letter business. He wasn't afraid of hard work, and more importantly, he wasn't afraid to fail. Cuban often says that investing in yourself is the only investment with guaranteed returns. Unlike stocks or real estate, you don't have to worry about market fluctuations when you invest in knowledge, skills, and personal growth. When he graduated, he didn't land a high-paying job or inherit a fortune. Instead, he moved to Dallas with just a few dollars in his pocket and a strong belief in his ability to learn and adapt. His first job was at a software company, but he wasn't a great employee. Why? Because he was more focused on learning than following the rules. He taught himself programming and networking on the side, using every free moment to gain skills that would later make him millions. One day, he got fired for closing a big sale instead of opening the store on time. Instead of feeling defeated, he saw it as an opportunity. He took the knowledge he had gained and started his own business, Micro Solutions, a software consulting firm. That small company grew and was eventually sold for $6 million. From there, Mark Cuban was unstoppable. So what's the takeaway from this first part of our story? Mark Cuban's success wasn't a result of luck, connections, or a privileged background. It was the result of relentless self-investment, learning, growing, and taking risks. And that's just the beginning. Now let's dive deeper into how his knowledge turned into millions and eventually billions. One of the biggest mistakes people make is relying on external circumstances, waiting for the right job, the perfect opportunity, or for someone to come along and give them a chance. But Mark Cuban never waited for luck. He created it by acquiring valuable skills. When he started Micro Solutions, Cuban didn't have a background in programming or business management. But instead of seeing that as a disadvantage, he treated it as a challenge. He read every software manual he could find, taught himself coding, and spent late nights mastering computer networking. And guess what? That knowledge paid off big time. Micro Solutions quickly became a profitable business thanks to Cuban's ability to solve tech problems for companies that didn't even understand what they needed. By constantly learning, he put himself ahead of the competition. Cuban also knew that investing in himself didn't just mean learning technical skills, it meant building relationships with the right people. He wasn't afraid to ask questions, meet new clients, or engage in conversations with experts in the tech space. And while some people network just for favors, Cuban focused on something deeper: creating value. If you want people to notice you, help them solve a problem. Cuban didn't just pitch his services, he proved that he could make businesses more efficient through technology. That approach made him indispensable to his clients. And in 1990, that investment in skills and relationships paid off when he sold Micro Solutions for $6 million. At just 32 years old, Mark Cuban was a millionaire. But here's the key lesson: he wasn't done learning. Instead of retiring, he kept reinvesting in himself. After selling Micro Solutions, Cuban had money, but he knew that if he wanted to stay ahead, he had to keep learning. He started researching what was coming next in the world of technology. By the mid-90s, he saw something revolutionary happening, the internet. While most people didn't fully understand its potential, Cuban did. He and his business partner, Todd Wagner, started Broadcast.com, an online streaming company. Again, Cuban didn't start as an expert in streaming technology. He became one by reading, testing, and experimenting. And in 1999, just a few years later, Yahoo bought Broadcast.com for a staggering $5.7 billion. This wasn't luck. This was the result of a man who never stopped investing in himself. So, let's pause for a moment and reflect on some key takeaways. Learn valuable skills. The more you know, the more opportunities you create for yourself. Network by providing value. Help others solve their problems, and they'll remember you. Stay ahead of trends. The people who invest in learning what's next are the ones who make history. We saw how Mark Cuban's commitment to learning and staying ahead of trends helped him turn his knowledge into a $5.7 billion payday. But what separates Cuban from many other wealthy entrepreneurs is that he never stopped investing in himself. Even after making billions, he didn't just sit back and enjoy his wealth. He kept learning, evolving, and growing. One of Cuban's biggest habits, even after achieving massive success, is reading constantly. He has said multiple times that he spends at least 3 hours a day reading. Why? Because knowledge is power. Cuban believes that the more you learn, the more you can anticipate problems before they happen. He doesn't just read business books. He reads about science, psychology, technology, economics, and even history. Most people stop learning after school. Cuban does the opposite. He understands that every bit of knowledge you acquire helps you make better decisions, avoid mistakes, and spot opportunities others miss. Cuban once said that the best investment he ever made was a $200 sales book that taught him how to sell. Before that, he was an average salesperson. But after reading and applying the lessons, he became a top performer. Think about that. A $200 book helped him make millions later in life. That's what Cuban means when he says investing in yourself gives the best returns. If you spend money on things that improve your skills, books, courses, training, or even just experimenting, you create value that pays off for the rest of your life. Now, let's talk about something unexpected, basketball. When Cuban bought the Dallas Mavericks in 2000, they were a struggling NBA team. But instead of just sitting in the owner's box, he took the same invest-in-yourself approach. He didn't just hire experts, he became one. He studied game analytics. He learned about player performance metrics. He researched sports psychology. Most team owners just sign checks and watch from the sidelines. Cuban became deeply involved, understanding the business and science of basketball. Within a few years, his investment paid off. The Mavericks won their first NBA championship in 2011. Again, this wasn't luck. It was the result of Cuban's commitment to learning and improving. Never stop reading. Even billionaires like Cuban dedicate hours daily to reading and learning. Small investments can bring massive returns. A $200 book on sales helped Cuban become a millionaire. Apply self-investment in every area of life. Whether it's business, sports, or personal growth, learning gives you an edge. So far, we've explored how Mark Cuban used self-investment to build his fortune, turn a struggling NBA team into champions, and develop an unbreakable habit of lifelong learning. But what truly sets Cuban apart is his ability to stay ahead of the curve in an ever-changing world. In today's world, technology is evolving rapidly. Industries rise and fall. Jobs that exist today might disappear tomorrow. So, how does Mark Cuban continue to stay on top? By following one simple rule: if you don't learn new skills, you'll be left behind. Cuban has repeatedly said that understanding technology is no longer optional. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you don't at least understand the basics of AI, automation, and data science, you'll struggle to compete. In fact, he once said, "In the future, knowing AI will be as important as knowing how to use a computer today." He doesn't just talk about AI, he studies it. Cuban has taken courses on artificial intelligence, blockchain, and machine learning because he knows these fields will shape the future. And that's exactly why he continues to invest in tech startups that focus on automation, AI, and robotics. He understands that the people who embrace change, rather than fear it, are the ones who thrive. Most people assume they need to go back to school to keep up with new technology. Cuban disagrees. He believes you can teach yourself almost anything for free. He often talks about how there are thousands of free online resources for learning new skills. Whether it's coding, marketing, finance, or even AI, the knowledge is out there. The job market is changing, but that's an opportunity. Cuban says that jobs involving soft skills, like creativity, leadership, and adaptability, will always be in demand. Instead of fearing automation, he suggests combining human skills with technology to create new opportunities. Your ability to adapt is your greatest asset. Cuban believes that the people who succeed in the future will be the ones who are constantly learning and evolving. He once said, "The best way to predict the future is to invent it yourself." Many people think about investing in the stock market or real estate during uncertain times. But Cuban's advice? Invest in yourself first. During economic downturns, the people who survive are the ones with skills that are always valuable: problem-solving, leadership, communication, and technical expertise. He argues that if you have high-demand skills, you'll always find opportunities, no matter what happens in the economy. That's why he advises, learn a skill that companies always need, like digital marketing, programming, or public speaking. Expand your knowledge beyond your industry, because industries can change overnight. Stay financially smart. Cuban believes in saving money and avoiding debt, so you always have freedom. Technology is changing everything. Learn it or be left behind. You don't need a degree to stay ahead. Free resources are everywhere. Recessions and uncertainty are opportunities if you have valuable skills. We've seen how he built his fortune through constant learning, stayed ahead of trends, and embraced change. But now let's talk about something even bigger: how investing in yourself leads to long-term success and freedom. At the end of the day, money isn't the goal, freedom is. Cuban didn't just work hard to get rich, he worked hard to have the freedom to do what he loves. And that's the ultimate return on investment. A lot of people look at billionaires and think they got lucky. But Cuban hates that mentality. He believes that luck only helps those who are prepared for opportunities. His philosophy is simple: the harder you work, the luckier you get. He has shared stories of how he spent years reading, experimenting, and grinding before he ever made his first million. When an opportunity came, he was ready because he had already invested in himself. That's why he believes, if you want success, you need to put in the hours. If you want financial freedom, you have to learn money management. If you want opportunities, you must create them by improving your skills. Cuban often talks about how money alone isn't what makes someone successful, it's the ability to control your time. He says, the best investment you can make is in yourself, because if you can learn how to create value, you'll always have options. What does this mean in real life? If you're great at sales, you can start your own business. If you understand finance, you'll never be trapped in bad debt. If you know how to adapt, you won't be afraid of job loss or industry changes. Success isn't about being rich, it's about having the skills to navigate any challenge. If you're wondering, where do I start? Cuban has a few simple but powerful tips. Read more than you watch TV. He says that most people waste time on entertainment instead of education. Start with just 30 minutes of reading a day and you'll be ahead of most people. Develop a skill that makes you money. Whether it's coding, writing, marketing, or public speaking, find something you enjoy that also has financial value. Avoid debt and live below your means. Cuban has always been smart with money. He believes that having financial freedom starts with not owing anyone. Take risks while you're young. Cuban started businesses when he was broke. He believes the best time to take risks is before you have major responsibilities. But even if you're older, there's always time to start. At the end of the day, Cuban's story proves one thing: you don't need to be born rich or have special connections to succeed. All you need is a willingness to learn, a strong work ethic, a mindset of constant improvement. If you invest in yourself, no one can take that away from you. And that's why Mark Cuban still believes, even after all his success, that the best investment you'll ever make isn't in stocks, real estate, or crypto, it's in you.